This week we have read through Chapter 3 of Picciano's textbook. The first chapter introduces the idea of the potential that technology has and the consideration on planning for the possibility of implementing technology into education. The second chapter focuses on the actual planning process and skims over the elements that must be present in this process. And then the third chapter introduces several questions like how much is too much technology? Will educational technology aid a certain group over another? And will technology be available to everyone? Picciano does provide some very thought-provoking topics for technology implementation in just the first 3 chapters of the textbook. But I want to go back and mention a few ideas that popped out at me while I was reading and apply them to the school that I work at and the experiences that I've had. Anytime a form of technology is to be implemented, there's always the issue of cost, and it is expensive. Not only does one have to plan for the implementation cost, but they also have to plan for the cost of the support staff, training, upgrading, possible repairs. For example, this year my school, which is a small Christian school, we are implementing an online communication tool or program that's for our parents, teachers, and students. Before the implementation, the administration had to determine the cost of the program and whether it was feasible with our school or not. And even now, we realize that the computers that we have need to be upgraded very soon in order to run this program smoothly. So the planning committee would have to go back and look at what we had available, and they decided we're going to have to take it step by step, and in the future we'll look at these new expenses and see how we can handle it as a school. Now, in Picciano's textbook, I did like how he realized both the potential and the limits of technology. He did explain that technology can play a very important role in the knowledge of our students, but they still need guidance from teachers and parents to help comprehend what they are, the information that they are receiving. The principal in my school relates his philosophy of technology and education as the statement of, we are not teaching technology to students, we're teaching subjects to students with the use of technology. Back to Picciano's statement, we are expanding their knowledge through the use of technology. And he's not talking about his philosophy for a technology class. Now, there are some people who argue for a very intensive system of technology learning. There have been some trouble with those classes. They do still have instructors or managers, but the problem has come with assessment. And in an article by Webb Gitson and Farrokh Bashu, they even agree that learners need to be involved in discussing and negotiating their learning in order for any form of valid assessment. So teachers need to be that guide in addition to the technology. And as a Christian, if we are taking teaching as a spiritual calling, in Psalms 32:8, just to be an example of Christ-like teaching, it tells us that God will instruct, He will teach, and He will guide. And as a Christian school teacher, I want to be able to instruct, I want to be able to teach, and I want to be able to be that guide to my students while I am in front of them in the classroom.